up this morning, you know, ready to go. I got out of bed, went on a run, showered. What else did I do today? Oh, I filled out like 30 pages worth of paperwork for my new therapist and psychiatrist. I worked on my thesis for like 2 hours. And then I got in my head that I was gonna go to medical school, so I started researching the MCAT. And I was like bouncing around the house, singing, cracking jokes. And then I went to my closet because I was going to change my outfit again. And a low hit so hard. I almost, like, literally fell over. I had to brace myself against the wall. Which probably is really hard to understand if you've never felt that before. But it felt like somebody came up behind me and wrapped a weighted blanket around my body without me knowing it was happening. Just like this. Oh my God. So there goes the rest of my day. I don't even know. I thought maybe I could paint, but I don't want to paint. My mom got the paint by numbers out for me because that's easier, I guess, than doing like creative painting. I don't feel physically capable of doing anything but just staring at the wall right now. Today's July 20th, 2020. I woke up at a decent hour this morning, had a meeting with the Marin City Community Development Corporation because I'm starting a volunteer position with them. And then I got my dad to help me rearrange all the furniture in my room. And then I fell asleep for 3 hours. Woke up at like 7 p.m. And now it's about 9 o'clock and I just went to make a cup of coffee because I have a thesis due. And I have to really capitalize on my productivity spells because when I'm not a productivity spell, I'm in a low and it's impossible to do anything. So for some reason, about an hour ago, my brain went, let's do some work right now. On the way out the door, my mom was like, Sophie, try to get some sleep tonight. I got my formal diagnosis as bipolar depression type 2 about 4 days ago. And my friend Molly brought me a little plant, a little house plant, because I told her that my dad and I have this tradition where on every major step in my mental health diagnosis journey, we've got a new house plant. So when I got my first diagnosis, which was minor major depressive disorder, we got a fiddle leaf fig tree. And then when I started my medication, we got an African mask plant. And then when I got my bipolar diagnosis, we got like a little fern. And then when I started my medication for that, Molly brought me my new plant. It's over there. You can't see. I don't know why I'm pointing. But she named him Winston because she did some research. And Winston Churchill also had bipolar depression. And I thought that was really cool. And I've been having a really hard time coming to terms with this diagnosis because it's kind of a scary thing. It's a really serious illness. It carries like a 10% death rate, which like in terms of illnesses, I guess isn't the worst, but that's a little scary. And the lows are starting to get scary. it's weird. It's a weird way to live life. But it's really nice, and really I found empowering to have my friends and my mom teaching me about other famous people who have had this illness. And my mom actually gave me a book that goes through and makes an argument for how people with depression and bipolar depression actually make better crisis time leaders. Not as a hard and fast rule, but as a general proclivity. It goes over Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Kennedy, Winston Churchill, Muhammad Gandhi, all of who had either depression or bipolar depression. And it's really empowering. It's really empowering to remember, like, every way of being has its drawbacks and its advantages. And I think with mental illness and people who have abnormal personalities or moods or proclivities, society kind of impresses on you and does not let you forget the negatives. And just the fact of living it does not let you forget the negatives. Because it sucks. But it's nice to be reminded that, like, you know, my creativity and my larger than life personality and a lot of the things that I've accomplished might, you know, not have been a thing if I had been born neurologically normal or mood stable. I don't know what the word is. There's a word for mentally ill people, but not for normal people. Because normal, I guess, is statistically accurate, but I don't like feeling abnormal. I do, though, to some degree. It's a love-hate relationship. But yeah, like I was thinking the other day, I hosted a fashion show at Oregon, and it was something that happened because I just woke up one day. I saw that there had been this really, really cool fashion show at OSU, and I just got it in my head that I was going to host a fashion show, and without taking a second thought, I hit the ground running. And at the time, I was like, this is just what I'm doing. I'm going to have a fashion show, and it's going to be great. And looking back now, I'm like, that was probably some form of an episode. It's probably, I guess I have type 2, so I don't get mania, I get hypomania, but that might have been a hypomanic episode. But it brought something beautiful into existence. So it's like, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of empowered, which is really cool. And I think having that positive spin will help me get through the lows even more than I already do. Because it's really important to have information to throw at that voice when it goes, hey, it's never gonna get better. You should just quit because you're gonna live with this thing for the rest of your life and it's gonna suck and you're worthless and blah, 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 blah. And so I'm already, like, the logical side of my brain is having to sit there and be like, no, that's not me, that's not my voice. It might sound like my voice, but it's the illness talking. And so to have more information to fight that and be like, A, that's not really me, that's the illness talking, and B, once I get out of this, I'm going to start being me again, and I'm going to get that mania or that hypomania that actually helps me bring some really cool things into the world. Yeah. Plus I have Claude. I'll look at Claude. This is Claude. Claude the Cloud. Is he in focus? I can't tell. It's like an emotional support stuffed animal. It's great. I'm 21. I'm not too old to have stuffed animals, right? It's fine. I've been on a high now for about 2 or 3 days. So, you know, at least I have 1 day left at max. Who knows how long I have left before another low hits. So I'm just going to try to ride that wave, be as productive as possible, and then refine my coping mechanisms when those good old lows hit.